looking around the room, and I think it's fair to say most of us are a particular age group, which leads me to my question is how do we engage younger folks in getting interested in the elections?
There's a vicious cycle with young voters. First of all, if people do not campaign and address the issues that younger people have, young adults have, the young people do not vote because the politicians don't care for them. And then because the young people don't vote, the politicians don't care about them. And someone has to break the cycle. So the candidates can start by breaking the cycle and finding out what young people want. And we can encourage young candidates. Recently there was a little comment in the review that bothered me a lot about someone talking about the, what's a dangerous trend? Something like that about young people who are looking at entering politics. It's a wonderful thing, and we do have some young people who are interested, so we should support them. What they need is different, but they still matter, they still live here. So pay attention to them first. Take the first step. They're busy, they're young, they don't know everything that we know.
Thank you. Part of the challenge, I think, is the workload. It's a fair amount of work, it's a lot of reading. We have a structure in place. If you look at a community, you see that they meet every Monday night at 7, and in-camera meetings are Monday at 2, and commission meetings are at 2 in the afternoon, whatever the arrangement is of your community. But that is not set in stone, and that can be changed. So if you've got somebody who's interested in running in your community, but they can't make a meeting on Monday at 2 o'clock, there's no reason that meeting has to continue Monday at 2. It could be Monday at 5, it could be Tuesday at 6 or 7. So just kind of thinking outside the box, how to meet the needs of those folks. Things like childcare get in the way. It's not an easy fix. It's a fair amount of work, which is probably one of the key reasons. And today, in most situations, you have two parents that are both working already.
Certainly, younger candidates would make quite a difference, and hopefully we'll see that this year with 2 or 3 way younger than we are.
I want to speak from another hat that I wear. I'm on the Sydney North Sandwich RCMP Community Consultative Committee, and I am impressed with initiatives that the RCMP is taking to reach out to the community, speaking to school students, speaking to seniors groups, speaking to community associations, and so forth. I think council has to take more initiative and city staff, or however you want to define it, in terms of meeting with people, meeting with groups, and educating people. Students should know what a councillor is and what a councillor does and how their lives are impacted by land use decisions, because land use decisions affect them. They're out on the streets or not out on the streets. Why are they out or why are they not out? Certainly, most of us had childhoods that are very different from childhoods now for a whole host of reasons. But what are their interests? What are their concerns? I think it's really easy, and I can speak from experience, that when you're on council, a kind of Stockholm syndrome sets in, and you're 7 people and you meet regularly, and the concerns around the table are the concerns of the community. And you know what? Very quickly you're out of touch with what the community really is about. And I think this has to be a constant moving back and forth of dialogue. That was one of my points. And particularly with different groups and the people that aren't generally taking the time, or let me rephrase that, particularly with groups of people who aren't really traditionally involved. We're all involved. We go to council meetings, we get an interest in our community, but there are people who aren't. How do you reach those people? And I think the only way to do that is by making the effort. I think councils have that responsibility, whether themselves or at least creating initiatives that do that.